Frederick with DabLab LLC, here to demonstrate how you can practice mycology in your home environment. Usually you want to have a laminar flow hood to inoculate your bulk substrate with grain spawn, but I'm going to show you how, using sterile culture technique, you can minimize the risk of infection doing small batches in a relatively clean environment if you don't have all the tools yet. I recommend getting started this way because if you don't like it or you have too much trouble and you figure it's not worth your time, this saves you a lot of money and time and effort in setting these things up. So, to get started, you want a pair of food-safe gloves and an N95 mask. I'm going to leave off the mask so that you can understand when I'm speaking for the purpose of this video. You'll want to start off by sanitizing all the surfaces with 91% isopropyl alcohol and a paper towel. I've already broken up the grain spawn. To do that, I would recommend using a bicycle tire so that you don't risk breaking the glass on your hands or other hard surfaces. But you want to wipe everything down as sanitary as possible to avoid the risk of contamination. And when you do this, you want to be swift and smooth with your motions so that you can minimize how many bacteria and spores end up in your culture. So let's go ahead and get started. Today we're going to do a half gallon, 1500 milliliters of grain spawn, so almost a half gallon. And we're going to inoculate 2 to 3 bags today, just 2 bags. That'll be 750 milliliters per bag. What I like to do to speed things along is find the 750 milliliter mark, or the halfway point, and hold my finger there. Now I know how much to pour when I open this bag. These are vacuum sealed after you sterilize them, so you want to loosen this lid and then start working on the bag. Here we go. 750 mark. Swiftly and smoothly. Some chunks got stuck. That's okay. And it's approximate. We got 750, 800 milliliters grain spawn in there. You want to put the lid on to protect the rest of your culture while closing this up. And then we're going to wrap it around the bottom to keep it closed and then set it aside. Take the next block that we're going to inoculate, open it up the same way, and then it's a little bit easier because we can just dump the remainder into this bag. It's not perfect, but you can see approximately 750 milliliters of grain spawn remains. Bag is open. Dump the jar. And seal it as quick as you can, pushing out the air. Now, when you have the grain spawn on top of the block like this, it will be able to defend itself against small amounts of bacteria and contaminant spores sitting on the top. This is because the grain spawn has a lot of mycelium that's well developed and it wants to protect itself. So you can go ahead and seal these without the air in them, and this gives you the best chance of having a contaminant-free culture. We're going to go ahead and do that now. You might think, how is it going to get air to breathe? Well, there's enough air in there to get the process started. And after a few days, the bag is going to start to puff up with carbon dioxide. As the carbon dioxide builds up, and I missed the mark on this seal, but as carbon dioxide builds up, it will start pulling oxygen through the filter patch using the process of diffusion. Diffusion occurs when there's a high concentration of one molecule on one side of a semi-permeable membrane compared to on the other side. So CO2 builds up, it draws in oxygen, and the bag will fill up with air. So we want to go ahead and seal both bags. You can leave a little bit of air if you want. That'll speed the process up. But if you have problems with contamination, you'll want to make sure to get rid of as much air as possible. So, either immediately or in a few days, you can speed up the process of this bag filling up with CO2 by beginning the mixture process. As you squeeze the sawdust block, the sawdust expands because it's under vacuum, and more surface area between the grain spawn and the sawdust is exposed. This is important, or it speeds up the process of filling the bag with air, because the sawdust has the carbon that the mushrooms use to produce CO2. After a few days, your bag will look more like this. This is pearl oysters, inoculated about 5 days ago. And what you can do is break up the mycelial matrix. And you're going to want to shake it, mix up all the grain spawn and sawdust. This part takes a few minutes, you just have to be patient. What you want to do is break up the grain as much as possible. This is where having a laminar flow hood can save you some time, because you can seal this bag with the right amount of air, and you don't have to spend as much time breaking up the grain spawn again, and mixing it goes a little bit quicker. But you can save a lot of money just getting started by doing it this way. So, you just knead this like you would some pizza dough. You want to be careful not to pop the seal here, and if you want to be careful, you can actually add a clip. We have these specialized bag clips for Mycology, and they make the process a little bit more robust and secure. Perhaps the only impulse sealer you have is a little bit narrow for your purpose, and it doesn't make the best seal in the world. But these bag clips allow you to protect that seal. Also, you can cut this bag open and use this bag clip for second fruits in our lion's mane kit. So, Once you're confident you've gotten rid of the chunks of grain, because you can no longer feel them, go ahead and give it a shake, up and down, left and right. You can toss it a bit. You want to be careful not to break the bag, but they're pretty tough, and you're going to need some action. Mix everything up. Last step, get rid of the sawdust and the pleats on the bottom. Holes here. And then you can go ahead and compress it. Now when I compress it, I like to pull the bag up and push down on the sides. This will create a high uncompressed point in the middle, which you can fix later, but you'll notice it tightens the sides. It pushes the substrate into the sides of the bag. This is important to help prevent air gaps and pin formation later on. So once you get a good compression and you've pulled the sides of the bag up, then you can push down on the center and make sure the sides are nicely formed. And this bag is ready to go. You'll give it a few weeks to colonize, and then you can put it into your fruiting chamber, and we'll demonstrate that in another video. Thank you. Please comment, like, and subscribe if you want to see more.